The Looney Tunes are getting rid of their guns, and the Flash fired the Elongated Man. Welcome to the newest episode of SDW.
Super Dario World!
It's a me,
Dario.
Woohoo! Let's go!
I feel terrible. I feel terrible. Crap. I woke up in the middle of the night, about 2 a.m. this morning. Well, was it this morning, last night? Anyway, I woke up at 2 a.m. and with blood, with this intense taste of blood in my mouth. It turns out I was bleeding from my nose, and allergy season is fun, and so I had to clean all that up. It was fun. All day has sucked. Allergies have been kicking my ass. It's worse. I don't know if it has anything to do with the heat or anything, but it sucked. I feel terrible. Honestly, I wasn't even sure if I was going to do a podcast today, but then somebody reached out and be like, dude, are you okay? Like, do you get fired or something? Why haven't you done anything yesterday or today? So I was like, all right, I guess I have to show signs of life. By the way, I appreciate you reaching out. Thanks for being worried, but it's funny to see the conspiracies that sometimes people like come up with. Like, oh my God, I did mention earlier on this year that I may be taking a few days off if I ever have to do a double, and yesterday I had to do a double, and so today I just felt like crap. But the conspiracy theory was like, oh my God, he's dead. he missed the podcast. That means he's dead and no longer alive. Oh my God. So it's fun. It's everything. Honestly, it's heartwarming. It's nice to know that people care, you know. But yeah, feel very, very, very crappy today. And it's I feel like all like my nasal what is it? Cavities. I don't know that's the word I'm looking for, but they feel like are on fire and my head's killing me. Stupid allergies, you know? Not fun. Anyway, let's get into the news, and I'm going to try to keep this one short. So, two big things. One, Looney Tunes are stupid. Looney, doesn't matter. I love Looney Tunes. For those of you who don't know, it's a cartoon that's been going on forever. They went away for a while, but you know, that's the one with Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Elmer Fudd, all those guys. That's where that comes from, right? They were called Looney Tunes. They were pretty big for a while. Probably at the apex, it came a Space Jam, a little movie called Space Jam with Michael Jordan. I think that would be the apex, and you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and say it was. But they came out. They're rebooting the whole franchise. I believe it's going to be part of the whole HBO Max situation that's going on. And they made an announcement that two of their characters, Elmer Fudd and Yosemite Sam, would no longer have guns. Now, the reasons for it, I don't exactly know, but the executive producer basically said in an interview with the New York Times, we're not doing guns, but we can do cartoony violence, TNT, the Acme stuff, all that was grandfathered in, and so we're going to still do it. Which, I mean, first off, if the TNT was grandfathered in, weren't the guns grandfathered in too? This honestly, this seems ridiculous to me. It seems insanity because they're cartoons, all right? Like it says, it's violent cartoons. And so the way that if you're going to get rid of violence, get rid of all the violence, because they actually showed a clip. There's a clip, let me see if I can find the name for it. I saw it here in the article, and I actually saw the clip. It's a short titled Dynamite Dance, and in it, Elmer Fudd, who's a hunter, by the way. So, at first, when I heard Elmer Fudd's no longer going to be using a gun, I thought, well, maybe crossbow, because crossbow hunting is popular. People hunt with a bow. Stuff like Yosemite Sam's going to be harder because dude's a cowboy outlaw, and so him not having guns is going to be pretty interesting. I have no idea what they're going to do with him, but Elmer Fudd is a hunter, so they theoretically could have replaced the gun with a crossbow, and it still could have been funny. But whatever. But what they did in this little short called Dynamite Dance is they replaced it with a scythe. You know, kind of like the Grim Reaper has. You know, the big ass scythe, basically like a stick with a sword at the end, like a hook sword. Yeah. I don't understand how that's not violent. Like they're using the legit symbol for death. Right? The Grim Reaper's weapon. That's the symbol for death. And that's what they're using because it's less violent. A lot of things don't make any sense. First off, guns are probably the most popular they've ever been. because of the lockdown, millions and millions of people bought guns in panic, and according to statistics, about 40% of the people who bought of the millions of people who bought guns, 40% of them were first-time buyers. So the Second Amendment is alive and well. And now that they're going to be defunding police stations, or they want to, more people are going to want guns because you don't want to be the guy who doesn't have a gun when criminals are running around. So 2A is alive and well in the world. And if you haven't looked into getting a weapon, you're stupid. You should have already, because it takes a while for you to be approved, if you're even approved, and you have to get a lot of documents for it. It's quite a process, especially here in California. Anyway, so getting rid of guns there seems kind of stupid. And the even dumber thing is, I saw the clip. Chasing somebody with a scythe, pretty violent. And if they actually hit you, and even if you're a cartoon, I'm guessing the effects are going to be even worse. Because Elmer Fudd shooting you with a gun is the same as like an explosion, right? We've all seen if you've seen the Looney Tunes cartoon and you see somebody get shot, basically their face gets burned up. Their face goes all black and covered in ash, and it's like they took a really hard hit, right? It's kind of like a mini explosion. That's how they used guns, at least in the Looney Tunes. A scythe, if they hit you, unless they're never going to hit anybody, which would be lame, that thing's going to be bloody and more violent. And after that, like I said, it's called Dynamite Dance. Basically, Bugs Bunny rapes Elmer Fudd with dynamite. Like, I can't tell you. He gives him at least, 30 pieces of dynamite, 30 sticks of dynamite. He hits him with it at least. And and in fact, in one point, it was really weird because he jams Elmer Fudd into a log, throws dynamite in there, blocks it up, blocks one end of the log with a cork, and Elmer Fudd gets fired out of one side. So basically, it was a giant gun. That's basically, that's a cannon, and a cannon is basically a big gun. That's how that works. It was the exact same thing, only instead of a bullet, he shot Elmer Fudd. So I don't understand what they're doing here. Like, I don't understand what the message is, because for those of you who don't know, bombs are a lot more dangerous than guns. The big time. And if you're trying to prevent kids, I'm all right. I'm gonna try to figure it out, because if here's like, all right, we want to message kids, guns are bad and you can hurt people with them, or you can hurt yourself with them. Then, unless I'm crazy, kids have easier access to sticks that they could use as scythes, and kids have a lot more access to fireworks, right? Which, if you're using TNT, a kid is gonna be like, "Oh, I want to play like Bugs Bunny and stuff." And so, what's the closest thing that they could do? Firecrackers. So to me, it seems way more dangerous to be showing off, like, if you're gonna use cartoon violence again, to doing the stuff that you've been doing with dynamite there. Like, honestly, it just seems, if you're picking, like, out of all the things, what's more likely that a kid is going to try to emulate? The dynamite would be by far the most dangerous, because they could get firecrackers and they could very easily injure themselves because kids are stupid. Now, the scythe, you can hit one kid or another. They'll probably know not to hit each other very hard or whatever. They'll play swords or whatever. But firecrackers, one mistake, and it's usually the very first one you use, the one that gets you, could have very serious consequences. So it's stupid. Honestly, I don't understand why they're trying to do this, but I'm guessing they're pandering, and it's stupid, because I see no point to this. I see legitimately no point, and it's gonna make the cartoon worse, because legitimately, what is Elmer? Who the fuck goes out hunting with a scythe? Who? Name a person that's ever gone hunting with a scythe. The Grim Reaper doesn't count, all right? Because he's not hunting; he's doing his job. He's collecting souls. It's very different. But yeah, it's Dante from Dante. Does he use a scythe? Dante from Dante's Inferno? Maybe. Name one real person. Name one real hunter that's gone out hunting with a scythe. Ain't happening. Like I said, crossbow, I'd be okay with if they use it in a funny way. But this, it was just brutal. And honestly, the Dynamite Dance, while creative, it wasn't really that much fun. It wasn't that funny. So, we'll get. I guess I'll wait and see what else they do. But right now, I'm not liking it. I'm not liking that particular change. And now, other big news came out from the world of TV. And for those of you CW fans, the Elongated Man got fired from the TV show The Flash. Now, the Elongated Man is played by an actor named Hartley Sawyer. Full transparency, I actually know the guy. I met him at Comic-Con. We had a brief conversation. I interviewed him. Nice dude. Kind of goofy. If you've ever seen the TV show, he's kind of comic relief. And, again, goofy dude. And he got fired over some tweets that he made back in 2012 and 2014. And this is something that I just hate. I hate this about the world right now. First off, free advice, get the fuck off Twitter. If you have a Twitter account right now, delete it or delete absolutely every single thing you've posted before today. Get rid of absolutely everything because and set it up so that whenever you post something, it'll get deleted in, I don't know, a week or something, 24 hours, whatever, because this whole trend of people going back through old stuff that you've posted and getting you in trouble now is fucking disgusting. I hate it. It's one of the worst things ever. And while I don't think it should happen, putting yourself in a position where you're giving these people ammo is stupid too. So just get off of it. There's nothing good that's ever come out of Twitter. Nothing. Get out of there. Do yourself a favor. Get the fuck out of Twitter. Nothing good comes from it. Nothing. And so the story of Hartley here is that he did a few posts. And by the way, I've read them. I didn't read all of them. I read the four ones that they show off here. They're mostly jokes. One of them is a little bit raunchier than others, but I'll just read them for you. All right? These are the tweets why somebody got fired from his job. All right? An actor got fired from his job. So let me see if I can find them right here. Oh, and let me read you the statement from the CW first, because they got to cover their butts, right? The statement says, Hartley Sawyer will not be returning for Season 7 of The Flash. In regards to Mr. Sawyer's posts on social media, we do not tolerate derogatory remarks that target any race, ethnicity, national origin, gender, or sexual orientation. Such remarks are antithetical to our values and policies, which strive and evolve to promote a safe, inclusive, and productive environment for our workforce. Now, after hearing that, you got to be like, man, what did the guy do? That must have been really bad jokes, like even worse than the ones that James Gunn did. And by the way, James Gunn still got hired again by Disney, and kudos for them. Honestly, it's one of the better decisions that Disney did, standing up and backing up the guy who made you $1 billion fucking dollars, and also who had already apologized for what he'd done, and also it was a fucking joke. But anyway, here are the jokes that got Hartley fired. All right, the tweets, one from 2012. The only thing keeping me from doing mildly racist tweets is the knowledge that Al Sharpton would never stop complaining about me. Another tweet from... the other tweets are between 2012 and 2014. Enjoyed a secret boob viewing at an audition today. Another one. If I had a wife, I would beat the hell out of her tonight. LOL. And the last one. Date rape myself so I don't have to masturbate. So those are the tweets. Now, if you're into a particularly dark form of humor, that last one is actually kind of clever. The one about the wife is the one that makes you go, ooh. But there's a certain style of comedy and comedians who, when their objective when they do those types of jokes is to make the audience go, ooh. That's it. So that clearly, to me, reading those, and again, I might be biased because I did meet the guy, and I met him briefly, and this is the impression that I got from the guy, that he's just a goofy dude who wants to say goofy stuff. It's not egregious in any way. None of these things are egregious, at least to me. It was just a joke. It's just a joke, and you should never really have to apologize for a joke because, like Michael Scott says, it's a joke, right? Also, he said it back all the way in 2012, 2014. People change. If you don't believe that people can change, then why do we even have prisons? Why not just kill every single person that comes in there? The whole point of somebody sending to prison is that they will come out and they'll be changed for the better, right? Why do we even have psychiatric hospitals? But why don't we just kill them immediately, right? Why do we have rehab? Why do we have rehab? If you don't fundamentally believe that people can change in 8 fucking years, there's something wrong with you. And this guy should not have to apologize for this at all. The tweets, they were bad jokes, all right? You know what the CW should have said? Hardly the ideas that were represented in those tweets were meant as jokes. neither Hartley Sawyer, who we know and we've worked with for several years, represents that currently, nor does the CW promote or accept this. Also, we hired him to be an actor, not to be a writer, because his jokes are terrible. Something like that, which you could argue they are. Dude's not a writer, okay? He's not a writer. In his apology, he says something like, I am incredibly sorry, ashamed, and disappointed in myself for my ignorance back then. I want to be very clear. This is not reflective of what I think or who I am now. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine. So let's say he actually does believe that he did something wrong, which I don't think he did, because it's a joke. He did it all the way back in 2012. You know how many stupid crap I've said in my life? Horrible stuff, some of it on the air, some of them off the air. You know why I don't apologize for any of those? Because it's a joke. And even if you hurt somebody's feelings, unless your intent was to hurt somebody's feelings, you shouldn't have to apologize for it. You shouldn't. It's a joke, all right? What's the expression? Like, until what point am I responsible for somebody else's feelings, right? When are you going to be responsible for your own fucking feelings, right? How far do I have to go? It drives me nuts. And it drives me nuts that companies don't back up their own fucking employees. Like, it's like, that's your people. You know them. You should defend your people. You should not just throw them off to the wolves. You should not just hang them out to dry. It's disgusting. But companies are risk averse, and they don't want to rock the boat. They don't want the bad press. And this is not a controversy to me. This should be a non-issue. The dude said a joke. It was a bad joke. And end of story. You know what's even worse? You know what's the worst thing that could happen when you do a bad joke? Crickets. People not laughing. And that's when you're like, ooh, that's the worst punishment you can give somebody when they make a bad joke. Just not laugh. Firing him 8 years later when they're a completely different person. This is back when probably he wasn't successful. He was a nobody. I don't even know his career, but he was probably a nobody. He probably was begging for attention. He thought, ooh, if I be a little bit edgy, I might get some attention this way. But no. Now, and like I said, he seemed like a nice dude. He might be wrong. He might be like, I don't know, Satan. Who knows? But still, he hasn't done anything. He hasn't done anything, or at least they didn't say that they fired him for something he did. It's something he said. Words are fucking wind. And they were all the way back from 2012. And what really bothers me is that this does not go both ways. It's like, all right, we're going to just sacrifice a whole bunch of people we don't like, but we're not going to sacrifice the people we do like. Like Jimmy Kimmel did blackface. No, do you ever hear any outrage for that? No, nobody. And you know what? You shouldn't, because he probably did it as a joke. I don't care. I didn't see it. I don't remember. I don't like Jimmy Kimmel in general, so I'm going to try to stay away from that one. Amy Schumer did a horrible joke about Mexicans. Let me see if I remember it. And let me see. Oh yeah, I no longer hook up with Mexican guys because now I'm only doing consensual. So, as a Mexican, that honestly, it's a very offensive joke. But also, it's like, clever. It's it's a horrible joke. It's horrible from her race, and I don't believe it in any way. But it's one of those that makes you go, ooh, that was clever, because it hurts. It hurt me. It offended me, and that's why it's like, that was a good one. You snuck in a good punch there, but nobody's calling for her head. Why? Because people like Amy Schumer, right? So now this poor sap, he's getting fired for something that for just trying to get attention. 8 years ago, 6. Honestly, it's ridiculous. The thing about I don't care what he tweeted. I don't like where this is going. I don't like some stupid a-hole sitting in their computer going back decades, going back years, and stuff that you said and trying to get you fired now. Who the fuck are you? Like, who the fuck? What gives you the right to do that to people? Why? How are you better than me? Like, honestly, like, if you put your face out there and so that we could see who the fuck you are and we can go through all the stuff that you've done, would you like that? Would you like that everybody go through every single mistake you've ever done in your entire life and put it on a microscope? No. Honestly, a part of me really doesn't care, because every single mistake I've ever done has made me grow. Every single dumb stuff that I said, every single time I've offended somebody, every single time I hurt somebody's feelings, I learned. I learned something, good or bad, and it changed me. Every single one of those situations, every single failure, and in my life I have many, I learned something. But here you're demanding perfection? Like, that's the standard that you want to hold up. Perfection. And you know what? It's impossible. Because guess what? In life, there's winners and there's losers. So even if you're trying your best, somebody else is going to beat you. That means that what? You failed? So that's failure. So it's impossible to be perfect. Well, first off, it's impossible for everybody to be perfect. And also, expecting somebody to come out perfect right out of the womb is unrealistic, and it's stupid, and it's a very disgusting standard to do. And it's disgusting for people to do this. It's disgusting for companies to not back this dude up. It's disgusting on so many levels. This should not be happening anymore. This is stupid. It's unsustainable. And it's filled with a whole bunch of fucking hypocrites. Like, do you guys remember Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada? He did blackface, but he still got reelected. Why? Because the left likes him. That's what they do. The mob that eats people up, like, ooh, he's one of us. No, we can't do that to him. He's one of the dudes that calls this stuff out. So the hypocrisy bothers me. The hypocrisy is the worst thing. Doing this is, like I said, I don't like it. That's why I'm not on it. I think I am on Twitter, but that's because one of my professors, American history, American Indians in film, I took that class, and the professor was like, "You're gonna have to make a tweet for every movie, and that's how I'm gonna grade you for extra points, blah blah." So I do have it, and I have posted stuff on there, but it was just basically for that class, and I hated him forever. It was like, you son of a bitch, because of you I have Twitter, and I just really haven't deleted it, because sometimes, when I'm doing research for the show or whatever, I have to go through, for example, when we have a comedian in the studio, we go through their tweets to see kind of where they've been, what they've been talking about, and it makes things more interesting. Anyway, let's just stop. Let's just stop hunting down people for the things that they said in the past. People change. And if you don't believe that people have changed, then what the fuck are we doing? Honestly. I'm sorry, I didn't know you were perfect. Nobody's perfect. People suck. People make mistakes. People learn. That's one of the beauties of life, that you can actually learn from your mistakes, adapt, grow, become better. Grow. Just grow up. You know what? Just had to grow the fuck up. This is stupid. Anyway, that's it for today. Any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can find me at Dario the Show on Instagram or at Super World. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you again next time.